Hello once again and welcome back. This to Daybreak Africa. For just reaching from our studios here in Ondo City, I remain EZEKIEL. Okay. This morning we'll be talking on the role of women in addressing conflicts in marriage. The thing is, marriage, it's supposed to be, it ought to be a union between a man and woman, a peaceful union. I must really emphasis on the term peaceful union. Not long ago, I think sometime last year, I took a time to meet some students. We were talking about marriage being a wonderful union, and I tend to ask these students what they think as to marriage, and if they wanted to have the same form of relationship their dad and mom had. Funny enough, none of them actually raised their hand to tell me they wanted the same or exact form of relationship their parents had. Some said it came to their notice that the parents did not stay in a room. Some said their parents, particularly the mom once told one of them that she would have actually loved to offer a divorce, but for the fact she had kids, she wouldn't want to do that. Now, one way or another, things as these tend to tamper the attitude and the mindset of kids towards marriage. Now, like I said, we're talking about conflicts in marriage, especially women's role in this, and we have ADERONKE OGUNLADE in the house this morning to discuss with us on this topic. Welcome on Daybreak Africa once again.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to have you with us.
Now,
How have you been?
I've been good.
All right.
And you?
You're fine. You're doing well.
Now, moving forward, I came across John Gottman's research, and it shows that 69% of conflicts in marriages never get solved. And there are important facets to this conflict that cause them to become perpetual problems. Some researchers estimate that 15 to 30% of marriages that end are high conflict, and the rest end in low conflict results. Now, let's not forget the level of divorce rates. In America, I learned they have up to 40 to 50% divorce rates. Really high. Now, ADERONKE, what can you consider to be the major problems in marriages?
Okay, before starting from the major problem, conflict is the #1 key in the marriage. So couples having conflict, couples having issues, that doesn't mean they don't love themselves.
Okay.
But the most important thing is that understanding one another. The more you have conflict, the more you understand yourself. So it is how you manage that conflict that will determine maybe that marriage will survive or it will survive. So that is the #1 thing everyone should understand out there, that conflict in marriage is inevitable. It is everyday activities. You can fight today and solve it tomorrow. You can fight in the morning and solve it before night. So it depends from the angle you see your conflict. The way you handle it, that will determine maybe that marriage will survive or not. So, and before going to the main point, the causes or the effect?
Major problems.
The major problem we have in conflict, in marriages. We can't just say major causes. You know, I do say one thing. Every marriage has a fault. Every home has a fault. But the fault in my own marriage may not be the fault in your own marriage. The issues I'm having in my own marriage, you may not have that issue in your marriage. And that doesn't say maybe it's complex or simple. We don't have major causes. What you see as a fault in my marriage may not be seen as a fault in another person's marriage. We have some marriages, maybe the wife decides most things in the marriage, and the husband is okay by it. If you should try that in another family, the man will let you know, I'm the head of this family. Like, permit me to digress a bit. There was a kind of story someone told me that they nearly fight because of the head of a fish.
Okay.
The wife sells fish. So the mother sells fish while growing up. They were hustling, nothing. And after selling fish, most customers, they don't like taking away the head. So that is how they've been eating head of fish in their house. So the lady has been she's fond of taking the head of a fish. Now she's married. Every time she eats the head of that fish, she eats the head of that fish. Now one day the husband was discussing with his friend outside. My wife always sees the head of the fish at home. The other friend say, oh, no wonder. He has taken the head from you. Don't you see how your life is? The man went home, was keeping malice, until their pastor just, what is happening? Daddy, he has been eating the head of fish. So my friends told me he has taken the head from me. You can see that kind of little, it is nothing that should cause fight. And that is why I'm picking the number one major causes of conflict in marriage, third party interference. We may be moving on fine if no third party in our midst. If we don't discuss our weaknesses with the third party, we'll be living fine. But now just maybe third party interfere into my marriage. So you are taking all this why? Oh, I pity you. I can't take such in my own. Then you go back home to cause trouble with your husband or with your wife. So as a woman, you don't allow third party in your home. That is, they'll be eating the head of fish every day. No problem. The husband doesn't see it as something very bad. But the moment the third party intervenes, problem setting. And another causes again, lack of communication skills. When you don't talk, when you don't talk out issues, you keep it to yourself, it makes conflict in the marriage more complex. Where you communicate, okay, maybe you've done something wrong to me as a husband. I keep it to myself. I started nurturing that thing. Okay, that you've been doing. You've done that again. I didn't talk to him that, why have you done this? It is when I speak out, when I communicate with him, that is going to tell me, okay, this is the reason why I have to do it, and it will be settled. But you didn't communicate with yourself. You didn't tell him that, oh, husband, you've done something very wrong. I don't like it. So immediately, okay, and the husband may not see it as something very bad. We have some men out there, intentional, they will do something to you. They want to know your reaction. They want to know the kind of attitude you have. But now you are keeping it to yourself. The husband will not know, maybe he taught you. He's going to repeat it on that day again because you didn't communicate with yourself. Another major causes is, don't point fingers at your spouse. You are having issues discussing, maybe a conflict wants to arise. Immediately as the woman, you rose up on your feet. That is how you be doing. Don't do that in your life again. The man will always be the man in the house. You don't point fingers of accusation at your spouse. At least you talk. The moment you start raising up your voice, pointing fingers, it makes the man feel uncomfortable, and it may escalate the matter. So the best thing to do when you see there's going to be a conflict, you calm down, you relax. Even as a woman, you have to compromise. You don't want conflict. So nobody takes a trophy for an argument. You don't need. So when you raise your voice, you started pointing fingers of accusation at your spouse, it makes conflict worse in the marriage. And mostly under causes in them, we have a lot of causes, we can't mention them. What causes conflict in my home may not cause conflict in your home.
You made mention of expecting conflict and expecting situations in the home. I know it sounds fair enough, but should I wake up every morning expecting an issue? I believe that such word is tend to be over amplified. Wake up in the morning, I just believe there should be a problem in the house today, so I should be expecting the problem. Then day in, day out, I wake up every day expecting an issue. Is that really reasonably enough?
Actually, to you, it's not reasonably, but to me, it's reasonably, and I have my reason. I know if you don't marry a troublemaker, you won't be expecting conflict every day. But at the same time, already try to have solution before problem arise. If it hits you immediately, you may not gain consciousness from that shock. It's not that you should be waking up in the morning expecting conflict. What we actually means by that is conflict is one of the, how should I put it, ingredients in the marriage. If there is no conflict, that means the marriage is not working fine. Both of you have been pretending all along. You have been keeping a lot to yourself. If there are no conflicts, there is one thing you must argue on it, and that is why I say, depending on the angle you see it, that is what will determine what will become of your marriage. You may have couples that may not have used for some years. If they want to have that conflict, it may lead to the end of that marriage. It has been piling up. She did it. Okay, I will keep it myself. And that day she will just stand up. I've been enduring a lot in this marriage. I can no longer take it again. Already she has been filled up. But day by day, as that conflict is arising, you are tackling it. Dear, I don't want this. I don't like it. Even starting from your finances, conflict can arise from there if it is not well managed. If you don't know, that is why I say it depending on the angle. Your husband may spend your money, your wife may spend your money, and you may just flare up. How to use this money? But just calm down. Okay, you spend it. How do you want to get? How do you want to pay me back the money? I will pay it now. I will pay it. I have to use this for something. Believe me or not, the husband may end up not paying that money.
Now at this point, allow me to cut you at this point. I guess there is always a room for relationship or courtship, any way you want to put it. Now, don't you think this period of relationship and courtship should tend to mitigate every level of conflict, if at all, maybe probably eradicate it, if possible? I mean, there's room where you get to know each other and then you grow in love and then understand temperaments. Isn't that enough for?
It doesn't really work that way, based on my perspective. You know, in courtship, in relationship, during courtship and dating, it belongs to the woman. Belongs to the woman. You are a man. You will tend to satisfy her with everything if you actually want her in your life. Babe, I want to buy this. Oh, I don't have money, but I will sort it out for you. The money will be given. Babe, I don't like the way you place your head on that pillow. Okay, you can take the pillow. Now the marriage has come. The man owns the marriage. Every other relationship he has shown you during your courtship may not be seen again at times. So you can't predict a man, you can't predict a woman, but you can study to know yourself to some extent. You know, when a pretender is pretending, except maybe you are smart, you are wise, that is when you can know. But if you are not born from a wise orientation, if you are not well oriented, you may not know that he or she is pretending. And now the marriage is here, so there's nothing much you can do. In courtship, babe, I want to eat rice. I want to eat pounded yam. No, I can't prepare it. It's late already. Okay, should we eat Indomie? He's even the one that will suggest let's take Indomie. Now marriage has come. He has friends that they give others in their marriage. I can wake up my wife anytime to prepare pounded yam. Now he's coming home to do practical. Baby, I want to eat pounded yam. I'm very tired though. We will eat rice. So I want to eat pounded yam. As a woman, if she's well trained, she knows, she really knows. Okay, will help me pounding, please. We'll do it together. Look at the angle you pick it from, and you know that. So
in essence, for you, relationship and courtship is not exactly it. It could be full with pretense and all that.
Not in every cases. That is full of pretense. But what
the way you made it sound, it's more like it's not a room where one could actually or possibly know each other. So for you, it's more like there is, say, 60–70% of pretense.
It's not a matter of pretense. Marriage is another institution.
Other than relationship.
We have some marriage that maybe they only courted for like 2 months, a month. We have it. Should we say that marriage is going to collapse because there's no dating? even too much of relationship at times, of dating at times, you may think you will know yourself better. You may not know yourself.
I really want to be definite. I want you to be definite for me at this point. Are you saying courtship is irrelevant or not?
Courtship is relevant, but you can't get all what you want from your courtship.
In courtship, okay, all right.
Well, permit me to add this particular saying. You know, they used to say, no matter how much you know somebody, you can never know them all till you live with that particular person.
Yes.
And that is correct.
So
like,
as
you
a
never
couple,
know, like there's some parts of you that you tend to hide because you're not living with that person. But once you start living with that person, you're like, oh, that's
it will be unveiling.
Thank you. It's an eye opener. It's going to be an eye opener.
We just be doing it without knowing because it is
part of you. You're in your comfort zone.
For how long will you pretend? For how long will you keep yourself?
So permit me to take you back to where you said you mentioned the third party influence. Now we have relationships where you have, okay, fine, we can't know it all in resolving this particular conflict. Let's say the particular conflict arose in the home. You're trying to find solutions to it. Do you think meeting a third party to ask for solutions, what you can apply to your marriage, also is going to be detrimental to the institution of the marriage?
In most cases, no. That one is not actually a third party per se.
Okay.
There is room for mentorship. There is room for you to have someone who is older than you. You need to stand on shoulder of people who are taller than you so that you can see far. And in some cases, you have to choose who you want to discuss your marital life with.
Okay. You
have to be very, very careful. Someone who has no eyes doesn't care if your eyes is blind. Someone who has no marriage, not as the result of maybe the husband misbehave, but she deliberately scatter the marriage, or she decided to be a single mother. Now your husband has done something wrong. You now went up to her, my husband has. The first response she will give is men.
Men has come.
Men has come. They have nothing to offer. You see me sitting down here. It's not that I don't see a man to marry me. I don't want them in my life. If you can take care of your children, how much is he giving you? Carry your shoe
and run away.
So meeting third parties at times, they are good. No, we won't call it third party. What we call third party in marriage is, it could be your friend, it could be your colleague. If you see what happened in our house, this will also happen. And you are allowed that. It's not done that way. Don't, third party interference. But your husband has done something that is not. So you walk up to that person, maybe you're an elderly person who is ahead of you. This is what my husband has done. This is what my wife has done. So even that person you are walking up to shouldn't condemn any one of you. Okay, both of you are not around. Okay, what happened? Sorry. That shouldn't repeat itself again. Okay. Compared to meeting that person for resolution, for solution, she said, even the way you behave is very, very bad. I wonder how you do that to your husband. If it's me, I won't take that though. You are not solving it. So at times you should look at the kind of people you want to go and meet. And at times you may not need third party to settle your reviews at home. Okay. If you have been taking it one after the other, as it's bringing it, you are returning it. You don't have a leftover crisis on ground. It will be very easy for both of you to address your issue. Sir, you've done this, I don't like it. Face yourself. But don't talk to him maybe when he's angry, he's just coming back from work, very tired. You were leaving in the morning. He won't listen to you, he's still very tired. But maybe after taking his bath, after eating, hope you are fine. You start little minor discussion, what you did in the morning, I don't like it. To you too, you started it. I won't do that again. It's okay like that. Don't do that. You settled it.
I tend to wonder, is there anything as normal conflict in a relationship? There are certain conflicts people tend to tag normal. No, it's just normal. He just slapped me. It's normal. Men can actually hit their wife. It's normal. Is there anything as normal conflict?
There is nothing called normal conflict. What you see as a light conflict can escalate and become big if you didn't attend to it at times. And that is why I have to come in on, you know, nagging. Women that nags a lot cause a lot of conflict in the house. You have to at times compromise, put on maturity. It is not every matters that you turn to conflict in the house. If you can compromise to that extent, if you can play up to maturity to that extent, if you can tolerate, you won't have anything called maybe light conflict that can escalate to big one. Okay, you have to just study yourself. Your husband likes to maybe pick up a pillow from one place to another. You know, you don't need to turn that to conflict. You just have to take it, return it back. You don't have to, that is how you have been doing, and you don't refer back to your past. And that is how you did last week. You did it on Sunday again, same thing on Monday. There's nothing like light conflict. Light conflict can escalate, but as it is very light, talk it out. I don't like this. And the way you present your conflict, your matters, determines how serious it's going to be. Your husband is still talking, you vlogged who came in the tie. You know, no man wants that. You start calling him names, the man will never forget. Now you are very stupid, you are an idiot. No wonder they've told me not to marry you. It is me that doesn't listen. It can make matters escalate, so you don't have to call him names.
I guess at this point, let's talk about the roles of women in marriages. Now, there is the common belief that women are respected only when they have certain level of value in the home. You know, it's more like it is believed women that have more value in respect of resource, or maybe they have more input, or they have more, they give out more input in the marriage, tend to be respected more. Now, do you think such a notion is actually correct?
But women
yes, women who actually tend to impute more, give out more in the relationship are respected more. And generally, what do you think should be the rules of women in marriages?
Women have a lot of roles to play in marriage, especially in the aspect of managing conflict. Most matters, except the number one basis of it is when she's a godly woman. The other things are very, very simple to handle for her. But when she's a kind of a nasty, uncultured, unmannered, illiterate, you know, well, some people may even be an illiterate and have a good character. That is not a yardstick. But when she's uncultured, you know, those kind of manner, all those kind of women, they tend to have more conflict in their home. So, number one thing, I think every woman, even every girls out there starting, they should learn about conflict resolution and conflict management before they tend to move into the marriage.
Sorry to stop you there. You said women should learn about conflict resolution. It takes two to tango, doesn't it? So why should the women only be taught, okay, they should learn conflict resolution? Whenever a conflict arises in the home, it's usually from both ends. So how should they come about to resolve it? Is it the sole responsibility of the woman to say, okay, fine, I know this has happened, I still have to be the one to settle it? There should be a common ground somewhere. Why is it always the women? They are always pushing these responsibilities on.
Yes, it takes two to tango. But in most cases, when you see a woman who says sorry easily, okay, who lets things go easily, who compromise easily, when she behaves maturely, in most cases, hardly you see them have conflict in their home. Hardly you see them having conflict in their home. But I'm a woman. Most times we are the one that raise our voice in the house. Okay. Let's be realistic. I won't say because I'm a gender something, I don't say the truth. When you see a woman that is very calm, so gentle, and I'm very sorry, I won't do that again. Except, you know, some men, if you don't marry that kind of man, then maybe it is normal person, normal woman being, you know, I'm very sorry. It will repeat itself again. Even when you are not guilty and you are ready to say sorry, the matter will just let go. So women have a lot of roles to play. We are the one that should manage their home. permit me to say this, if a man is 45 years
Okay.
and a lady is 30 years, if she's well exposed, she's cautioned, I can say she's still more wise than that man in some cases.
You're laughing, Ezekiel. It seems he doesn't agree with us.
No.
Yes, the way she will
I
handle
follow.
things,
Okay.
the way she will lead, if she's well cautioned, okay, I'm very sorry. Even that man will be forced to say maybe he has married the most gentlest person on earth. Compared to maybe, you know, women have a lot of things. They should be calm, cool-headed, not nasty, not all these violent women. So when you are with the right person as a woman, you will enjoy your life because hardly you have conflict in the home. She will know how to manage it. Okay, like I said, nagging, and that is where most women, we women, we have such everything you complain. You've done this, I don't like it. Okay, she's even the one that will still repeat last week, this is what you did, that is how they usually do in your home. No man wants you to say something of that. And if your husband mistakenly you know, I don't mention your family, don't mention someone who has enough IQ will be able to read in on that. It is the duty of a woman to say sorry in most cases. Even when you are not wrong.
Okay.
I'm very sorry, it won't happen again. Good night. And you sleep. Even before the man could dream, we have to rethink that, oh, this woman has done the needful. But what will you do? You know, we women, come and do your worst. Kí ló fẹ́ ṣe? You are telling the man kí ló fẹ́ ṣe. He's going to do his worst. And the worst he's going to do, he is only trying that I want to prove a man. We don't need them to let them prove a man to us before anything.
So in essence, for
has a
you,
lot
their
of
role is being calm, being gentle. For you, it's more like the woman's role in marriages is being calm, being gentle, not exactly speaking up. Is that it for you?
Speaking up doesn't mean you are not gentle. There are so many ways to catch fishes. I think that is right. If you want to address it, I can be gentle and I can be violent at the same moment. Okay, sir, I'm very sorry, it won't happen again. You know what you want to do? That it won't happen again. But it pains you. On that day, you may not do it. The other will just discover you didn't do. I may do it. You may find it not okay by you. The other will not say, I did because I said this the other day. I don't want to offend you again. As a reasonable man, you will know that it pains you. You only accept it so that there won't be conflict. You can be calm, you can be gentle, and you will still be saying out your mind. Not that don't do that again in this house. So if you do that again, you see my red eyes. Which kind of red eyes? So but you can express your mind and not be rude, but you are still saying your mind. Gentility of a liar doesn't mean stupidity. So that doesn't say you don't know what you are doing. You don't have to show muscles, raise up your voice, hold him by his shoulder, pull his tie, you know. No man wants his, I didn't know how to put it. They want to be respected. If you respect a man, he's going to respect you, vice versa. Even when his head is not correct at times. And maybe just discuss with someone else, I did this to my wife. You are very lucky, you marry a good. Don't do that to him again, no. Don't you know she's a woman? You won't dare do that again. But you went out. If you see what my wife did to me, love me. If it's me, I'm going to punch him. Punch her rather. Compared to I did this to my wife, she doesn't react. They will tell me you've married someone that is very calm and gentle. You apologize to her when you get home, you know. You can become gentle and you know how to attend to crisis in the marriage. You speak out. It is when you speak out that makes you mature. At when the temperament is calm, the weather is so calm, sir, I'm very sorry. Even when not sorry, you want to express your feelings. When you are going out in the morning, you drop 1,000. instead of 3,000 naira. It is not up to nothing. No. I have to add additional money to it. I will give you. When will you give me? The man may not end up giving you, but the way you present your case, compared to you drop 1,000, is that what your mates are dropping outside? My friend, Titila, your husband has been dropping 10,000. You are giving me 1,000. What will 1,000 buy? And he wants to eat. You cover that 1,000 inside the plate. That's so embarrassing.
Okay, I guess the next question I should be asking is, what's your take on arranged marriages? Arranged marriages. And do you think arranged marriage is better than love?
No, that's a very big question. All this kind matchmaking, right?
Yes.
Actually, what works for A may not work for B. It is best for some people. It is not best for some people. Okay, maybe I have someone. I did it recently.
Matchmaking?
Yes. Someone said, I needed a girl that is very nice. I want to marry her. I have someone that is very nice, very kind. I said, okay, I'm going to make an avenue for both of you to discuss. Okay? But later, in the course of discussion, I and my husband, we were talking. He said, how are you very sure that this person will not misbehave? You know, this person is actually representing you before that person. He said, peradventure, if the relationship doesn't work out, you know, all those kind of things. And peradventure, if the relationship eventually work out, and they eventually get married, and maybe later on they can't understand themselves, do you know the blame will actually come back to you? I give it a thought. I said, but in the olden days, Mommy Taiba, Mommy Eli, Mommy Farouk, they will bring their children. Oh, I have a child. You know, in those cases, some people, they enjoy their marriage till death. When it is a kind of matchmaking. But some people, they may not enjoy it. Why? Because we tend not to know them better. Actually, my mom has presented me to you that I'm very gentle, very kind, very nice girl. You've had that at the back of your mind. The man may use it against me. He may use it against me. He may tend not to give me enough. He may, because of those words my mom have said about me. And I don't want to misbehave before him, because my mom has presented me to him as a very nice person. The other way around, if we should see ourselves on the normal thing, you will be so free to express yourself, because no party is involved. You know, you'll be able to express yourself. Okay, I like you. Okay, what are your do's and don'ts? It is what I don't like. But in the case of matchmaking, you won't be able to be free with one another. You won't want to misbehave because you are representing that person. The best thing is that people should go for what works for them better. We can't decide for, I may say, okay, I like this guy, I want both of you to get married. I don't know her intention. Maybe it's because of that. This man will take care of you. He has enough money with him. Okay, because of that, it's enough for a lady to get married to a man. Abi? Ilé as the Yoruba could say. But getting there, problem arise. You know, it won't work out. But Adibi, they see themselves on normal. She's the one that will know what attracted him to her. So what works for A will not work for B. Arranging matchmaking is still very good. Yeah, if you think it is okay by you, and if it's not okay by you, look for someone.
Well, I guess it's important to know you run a matchmaking business, and I want to really enroll at this point for me and some of my folks.
Well, my next question here is, In a marriage where you already have children in it, it is no doubt, it is no news that, okay, conflict, when there is conflict in the household, it affects the children in the long run or in the short run. Like when you rightly said, when we're giving you information, saying some of the people you had conversation with said they don't want to have a repetition of what their parents had already gone through in their marriage. So how best do you think this should be solved without having an impact on the children in the marriage?
Parents, the sole responsibility comes mostly from the mother. You know, if a mother knows how to manage conflict, it won't be that open to the children. And that doesn't means that the mother is hiding from those children. Now there is a matter we are discussing in the room. You may not raise up your voice to the extent your children is going to hear about it. Okay, you said you fight. The man went out from the house. The next thing, for knowing sake, a lot happens. You just walk up to your children. Your father has gone. This is what happened. I decided not to shout so that it won't just cause noise on us in the street. So, you know, you've explained as if you've settled it before. They are aware. But compared to both shouting, and that child is going to school, she won't concentrate in the school for that day. And apart from concentration in school, the kind of notions you are building into her, the kind of feelings you are creating for that kind of child, that marriage is a scam, that one will be at the back of her mind, that my mom and my dad, they are cat and rat in the house. Maybe there is no money, the father doesn't. We have a lot of women out there that they sought means to settle bills in their home. It is maybe the father doesn't really have much. You don't need to scream on him. You don't have. Just tell your children, I ask money from your father. He said there's no money, so I will try to get a means. I know it's going to pay me back, even when you know it's not paying back. Compared to, call me an idiot man. Our neighbor children are attending at the best school in this town. They are doing this. The children is already involved in that conflict, especially when we have the violent couples throwing bottles and throwing mopping stick in the house. Those children psychologically, emotionally is going to affect them. So the way you manage your conflict in the home determines maybe the children will be affected or not. When you are fighting in the home and your children, maybe the matter arises in the sitting room right before your children, you can comport yourself. As a man, see me in the room. Okay, what happened? I'm very sorry. And you coming out from the room again, pretend as if nothing is happening. And maybe after settling the matter during your dining section, you know, when we went inside yesterday, this is what happened. If it's something both children and the family can discuss, and you laugh it out. From there, they are also learning one or two, compared to learning marketing and the like in the house. So conflict management determines maybe the children will be involved or not. How you settle your dispute in the home.
Well, we've seen a better conflict resolution is a high skill before you get into marriage on the part of the women. You mentioned high communication, better communication skills is in essence know how you communicate. The manner at which you communicate your resentment should be it's key. What other skill do you think they should add up to this to help in conflict resolution in the marriage?
The word maturity, tolerance, perseverance, there are also skills that should be, you know, life is not a bed of roses at the beginning, and do not despise the days of little beginning. When going into marriage, always prepare for the best and for the worst. You know, when you are getting married, don't expect you will get everything in that home. If you are expecting to be at the poverty side, you may be at the lot size. Maybe you'll be thinking it will be, your husband will be begging you always. Grow up. Even when it's hurting, your men at times don't act like a baby. You act like the mother. Maturely, not imposing yourself on him. But maturely, this is what I want to do. I've had you. Perseverance, tolerance, maturity, And when you don't expect 100% in the marriage, it will make you to be at the safer side. You fight less in that home. Okay. If you don't expect 100%, you fight less. Maybe he has done some, you're supposed to talk, but you just let it go. Maybe when he's coming back from the office, just drop his shoe at the, come on, take your shoe, oh, you've dirtied the, oh, just call one of your children if you have mature one. Oh, yeah, take it to daddy's room. Okay. You know, the conflict has been solved. Absolutely. Or maybe there's no money to cook soup in the house. You know, normal, you should fight. Just look at somewhere, what can we eat? Suggest, what can we, I don't want, let's take garri. Including you happily buy groundnut and you eat it. And that conflict is settled. It is not that he's eating bread and you are talking garri. So when you expect less, don't put all your hope, you know, it is for better, for worse. I was thinking it's a cause before. There's never a cause. If you're always expecting best in that marriage, if the worst come one day, you will run out of that marriage. But when you've prepared for the best, for the worst, and the worst, if it's going to happen, you know how to manage it. With times, you will grow up together. And let me tell you that what you disagree on last week, you won't disagree on it again this week. You've outgrown that conflict. So the more you have conflict, the more you settle your conflict, and the more you fight less. But the conflict you don't fight, the fight you don't fight, we started accumulating, and there's going to be a boomerang. So it's never a crime to fight in your home, not fighting. Disagree and agree. Don't do this, I don't like it.
All right, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you here, as always. Well, I hope you all have picked one or two lessons about conflict resolution in marriages. This is where we'll be handing you over to our Lagos studios, who we believe have more interesting package for you. Please stay tuned. I am FATIMAH Ibrahim.
And I remain EZEKIEL. Okay.